51 cents. It says, had to donate again during Hexen, one of my all-time favorites. Looking forward to seeing it broken by a great runner. Well, thanks, Name Tag, for donating a second time. Glad I got to read your comment. Zen Master Stu gave us $25 and says, "Do it, Cube Face. Growing up playing video games as a kid, I never imagined I'd be able to see them broadcast all around the world and played by such amazing runners. The fact that we all get to participate in something like this and benefit charity is like a dream come true. Thank you to all of the runners, organizers, and everyone involved for all of their hard work for this amazing cause. Love you guys, Stu." Well, you're welcome, Stu. We're glad to be able to do this. $10 from Xenophon, who says, "I loved the Doom runs, and this Hexen run is bringing back some old memories. Big thanks to the crew and everyone making this SGDQ run. Kill the animals." Summer Games Done Quick 2016 will continue momentarily. Folks, we are going to take the stream down for just a second here. We'll be back probably within a few minutes while we work on some technical things. Thank you for your patience. Welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick, SGDQ2016. Up next, a run of System Shock Enhanced Edition. It's the any % category by Fearful Ferret. I've been told that I won't have too much time to talk during that run, so I'm going to make sure to get to some of your donation messages now. If you go to gamesdonequick.com, you can click the big old donate button right there, or it's at the bottom of the Twitch page if you're watching us at twitch.tv, and you can donate directly to Doctors Without Borders using that and leave a comment. Maybe it'll get read on the air. Following System Shock will be Judge Dredd, Dread vs. Death. That's a co-op run by Shadex and Dr. T. Chops. And even following that is Deus Ex by the always awesome Henke. That'll be an any % run. I received a donation a bit ago from Radio Loops. They sent in $10 and said, "Greetings from Finland, donating to Kill the Animals for the hopes of the new world record." Thanks for that one, Radio Loops. Also, there was a $50 donation from Horde Destro Lock, donating again since I just got paid. I've had the Doom song from Invader Zim stuck in my head for the last hour or two now due to all the Doom hype. Thanks. I wanted to read that. I'm pretty sure that my Alliance Holy Priest got killed by many a Horde Destro Lock back in the day, so thanks a lot. We had some donations from Cody before the had the Hexen run. He said, send in $60 and said, "Gotta get that cleric." And then another $20 later on saying, "Still fighting to keep the cleric above the warrior." So thanks for that, Cody. I hope the run was worth it. I hope you appreciated the class choice. Daniel Grayson sent in $45.10 and said, "Thank you for showing Strife Veteran Edition. Can't wait for System Shock. Look at you, hackers." Thank you, Daniel. Captain Charisma sent in a $50 donation and said, "Gotta get that Diablo 2 Secret Cow level." I agree. He's talking about the donation incentive to go to for the Secret Cow level in the Diablo 2 run later this week. We've got some pretty interesting incentives right now, including a new bonus run that was just made available a little bit ago. So following Crypt of the Necrodancer, we have a bonus run of The Witness, that recent puzzle game, available now. It is a $10,000 goal we have on the incentive, so when you donate, if you'd like to see The Witness following Crypt of the Necrodancer, then put your money toward the bonus run, and we'll make sure to have a Witness run in there for you. Speaking of Crypt of the Necrodancer, some more people bidding on what soundtrack to have with it. Bikupan with $100, saying, "It's been an awesome show so far, and I can't wait to see the rest." Putting down some cash to hear Family Jewels sweet music for the Crypt of the Necrodancer run. Good luck to all the runners, and save the animals. Thank you, Bikupan. Some other incentives, big ones are, of course, around Elder Scrolls games. We've got Morrowind and Skyrim being ran, I believe, tomorrow afternoon. For Skyrim, any %, we have a glitch exhibition. That's getting close to getting met. And then there's also a bonus run available there of 2 worlds. And now the System Shock run you've all been waiting for. Take it away, Fearful Ferret.
All right, hello. I'm going to be running System Shock. It was released in 1994 and pretty much inspired an entire series of really good games, including Dishonored and Bioshock and Deus Ex. So it's a really good game, really influential, and I'm really happy to be running it today. Night Dive Studios released an enhanced edition just last year that, for the purposes of the speedrun, introduced mouse-free look, so it makes the game much more playable. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely check out the enhanced edition. It's really fun. I really enjoyed playing it casually. All right, I'm about ready to go. Ready on the countdown? All right, 3, 2, 1, go. So the game has a good old inventory system of double-click on a thing to pick it up and then click on your inventory to actually put it there. So picking stuff up is a little bit tedious, and I'll be doing it quite a bit. This first level is a medical level. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh my
RNG
goodness.
with the enemies.
This is a literal wall of servbots. Go away. Alright, this is the first ever introduction of the code 451, which is famously the security code for the Looking Glass Studios offices. Many other games have that door code somewhere as sort of a tribute to System Shock and the guys that worked at Looking Glass back in the day. I grab a medical access card to open up some doors later, and then up here I'm going to be doing the door glitch for the first time. It was found just a few months ago, and it cut off like 2/3 of the run. It's such a huge time saver. That one is actually particularly difficult to do because I don't yet have a speed boost. We'll explain it in a bit more detail later when we have time to do so. So I skipped past running around a bit, so we're sort of in the last part of this area. I used a Berserk Combat Booster, which does this to the screen as sort of its side effect, but it also multiplies the damage you deal by like 5 times, so all these guys die in 1 or 2 hits, which is pretty useful. It lasts a somewhat random amount of time, so hopefully it goes away soon. Can use a grenade to get rid of that guy and then head down here. I also picked up some pistol ammo. I'm not going to be using weapons for too much, so the 4 pistol clips that I picked up will last for pretty much the entire run. Here I'm going to pick up a motion turbo booster system, which gives me a lot of extra forward speed but reduces like sideward speed and also friction, so I sort of slide it along the ground a lot. It's going to be on during basically the entire run because it increases your speed by so much. Here there's quite a bit of randomness in where these robots spawn. Unfortunately, I got a kind of bad spawn and they were able to take me out, so I'm going to have to load that save I made. And try to get past him this time. There we go. Yeah, all the robots that spawn in that area spawn in somewhat random locations and facing random directions, so it can be rather difficult to actually get past them. That is the end of the first area. This game also has amazing elevator music. Alright, and now we're on to the research area, which is the second major area of the game. The goal in this area is to fire the laser that Shodan is trying to shoot at Earth, but to do it after you activate the shields, so the laser sort of backfires on itself and destroys the laser. Here I'm going to be activating the respawn system, so now whenever I die on this level, I'll respawn in this location with this amount of health. And otherwise there's no penalty for dying, so I'm going to be using it quite a bit to reset my location and health to speed some stuff up. I'm going to grab some grenades, which I'm mostly going to be using to set up death warps later on. But here I'm going to be doing a lot more door glitches, which I'm going to allow CubeFace to extrapolate on.
Yeah, so in System Shock 1, your character has 2 hitboxes. It has a hitbox in the head and a hitbox on the feet. And basically what he's doing is clipping the head hitbox through the door by running into it while crouching and then uncrouching and saving right when he gets next to the door. And when the head is clipped through, the feet kind of slip through also.
Yeah, the game doesn't quite calculate collision correctly as you save. You don't actually have to load the save you make, it's just the act of saving that messes it up. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a safety strat here where I'm going to allow a suicide robot on the other side of this wall, which I'm going to door clip through. I'm just going to allow it to kill me, and that way I'll get a pretty big health refill. Normally in a speedrun I try to conserve health really aggressively up until this point so that I can survive that explosion as well as the part that comes after. But in a marathon that's far too much to hope for. Alright, so up here I'm going to be progressing with the mission of putting the isotope in this thing, which activates the radiation shield, and then I need to head down here to get rid of this laser safety override so I can activate it manually. And that completes the mission in Area 2, after I actually fire the laser. Then I'll do another death warp to respawn back at that area that I activated earlier, and we can head out of here. This was the reactor level. You're normally supposed to return here much later on to activate the self-destruct sequence, but with the door clip we can just skip that entire section. So we're going to door clip through here and then door clip into the central area. There are a lot of enemies that spawn in the central area as soon as you enter into it, or rather like doors open and surprise you because Shodan was waiting for you the whole time. But because I've activated the respawn area, I can just let them kill me, and that actually makes things a bit faster than they otherwise would be. So now I've completed the objective on this floor, the research floor, so I can head up to floor 3, which is the maintenance floor. Normally there's a mission thing that you have to do later on after you've made it to floor 6, but because I have the door glitch, I can actually complete that objective while I'm here and not have to wait till later to do that. You can use the CMP grenade to kill a robot around this corner, and then grab the laser rapier, which is a very, very powerful weapon. It kills almost everything in one hit, like even the strongest enemies it kills in 2, all except Diego, who is sort of the boss of the game. It uses energy to kill things, but since I am not going to use it very much, the single fill of energy that I got at the very beginning of the game is going to be enough for that. This area is pretty low on light, so I'm using my gun to actually like illuminate the area around me so I can see. This game was one of the first to implement dynamic lighting, so it's pretty cool. The invisible mutants in this area aren't actually invisible, they're just really short and kind of translucent. So this is the door that's normally not supposed to open until much later. I'm going to use a few medi patches so I don't die as well. Actually, executing the door glitch is pretty difficult because you have to both jump and pause the game at pretty specific points in time. I don't know like exactly how many frames are involved, but it's probably on the order of 2 or 3. But it all comes down to muscle memory because the door glitch pretty much operates exactly the same way every single time you want to do it on a door. Now we head up to floor 6, which is the floor I'm going to be spending the most time on. There's an objective here that requires you to flip maybe like 6 or 7 switches in total, so it's going to take a little bit of time. Over here is going to be the respawn point, which I can activate. And now I'm going to be returning to that point after allowing enemies to kill me or using frag grenades to kill me so that I can return to the central hub area without having to walk back. Also going to pick up this key card. All the key cards that I've picked up I don't actually have to pick up because I can just use the door glitch to glitch through every door that it opens, but grabbing the excess card makes it a little bit faster to get through those doors than having to do the door glitch every single time. So now we're going to head to Alpha Grove, one of 3 groves. There's a switch in each of those 3 groves that you need to activate to be able to progress with this objective. So here is the first one. I'm going to use a frag grenade to kill myself and respawn. Then we'll head out to Delta Grove, which is pretty similar. After I'm done with Delta Grove, I'll be doing Beta Grove, which is the most difficult grove. It's particularly difficult for 2 reasons. One is that there's radiation in it, so you take quite a bit of damage over time while you're inside of it. And the other part that makes it difficult is that in Beta Grove, if you die, you do not go back to the respawn point, it just kicks you out to the main menu. So you have to make it all the way through Beta Grove and return to the elevator before trying to do a death warp. And if you die inside Beta Grove, then you just have to reload to spawn, which is pretty bad. So it's also the grove that's furthest away. It takes the longest to get to, which we will be heading to right now. Movement in this game is pretty difficult because the speed booster basically makes it like you're on roller skates. There's very little friction, and you have very little ability to strafe left and right. So once you start moving forward, you're pretty committed to doing so until you bump against a wall. And when you bump against walls, you sort of rise up in the air, and you lose traction with the ground, so you're not able to do anything until you land back on the ground. Here is Beta Grove. I'm going to be picking up a Mag Pulse, which is a slightly more efficient way of killing some robots later on. Alright, now that I've made it back to the hub, I can go ahead and do the Death Warp. Each area in the game, when it respawns you with a different amount of health based on which floor you're on, and this floor gives you a particularly generous amount of health when you die, which is pretty convenient. Okay, now that I've flipped all of the override switches in the groves themselves, I'm going to head over to where Diego is. This right here is sort of a shortcut they're supposed to take back once you made it all the way through this area, but I'm basically going to go in the back door because I have door glitch to open the hidden door that you're only supposed to open from one side. That was Diego back there. He's very powerful. He kills you in just a couple hits, but he's not very good at fighting around corners, so he's actually pretty easy to take out if you know what you're doing. Now I need to head back to Beta Grove, and just outside Beta Grove, there's going to be a switch I need to flip. I'm going to go ahead and make a safety save because there are a lot of powerful enemies in here. Alright. barely made that in time. All those enemies spawn in random locations and facing random directions, so it's pretty difficult to make it past them at times. But it's also convenient because you need to death warp out of there, so as soon as you flip the switch, they usually finish you off pretty quickly afterwards. And now we've finally completed all the objectives we need to do on floor 6, so we can head up to floor 7, which is the engineering floor. And I get to skip the entire mission in floor 7 because the mission that you have to do in floor 7 just opens the door on floor 8. And with a door glitch, doors are no obstacle. Use mag pulse to take this guy out just for safety, and then door glitch through here. Then door glitch through a slanted wall up here. Head out here. One kind of annoying thing about enemies in this game is that their dead bodies have collision until they reach the last frame of their death animations. So you have to wait for them to die completely before you can actually pass through them. And then this is the door that the mission in floor 7 is supposed to unlock, but I can just head on through. Alright, this right here is the most difficult trick in the run. All of these orange things basically act as like pinball bumpers, so they knock you around a lot if you hit them.
Wow, first try.
Nice. Yeah, so on the security floor, you're supposed to go through a lot of side corridors to actually start up. Oh, that's really bad. All right, let's see if we can do this. All right.
That was close.
Yeah, so I accidentally spawned Diego by getting too close to the elevator, and he kills you in 2 hits. And then he hit me once. If I had missed that last door glitch, I would have had to respawn and try that bridge jump again. So that was probably the clutchest moment I've had in a GDQ. All right. And then you're also supposed to complete a lot of other objectives on this floor, which is floor 9, but you can just clip into the central area. And then this is cyberspace, which is sort of the special area. There's one on each floor, but this is the only cyberspace area that you actually have to go through in the speedrun. This is where Shodan is, and we're going to be fighting her in this sort of space combat simulator, whatever you want to call it. Somebody thought this was a good idea. Alright, Shodan sort of messes with your controls, so she sort of sends you off in random directions and also messes with your view.
Yeah, Ferret's trying to press the click button and enter as fast as he can.
Yeah, I'm trying to match 3 buttons to like maximize my rate of fire.
Yeah.
If I can kill her before the second email appears, actually I think you already did. Alright, time. Sorry.
It's 12:54.
Not bad.
It's over.
It is over. Alright. It's a very fast-paced game. Like, the speedrun doesn't have much time to talk, but I think I got through everything I wanted to say, so that's pretty good. If you enjoy System Shock, then definitely check out Enhanced Edition, which was released by Night Dive Studios just last year. And then Night Dive Studios are also running a Kickstarter for a remastered edition of System Shock, which they're making in Unity, which I'm really excited for. There's a demo you can play, and then also Other Side Studios is working on a sequel to System Shock 2, so they're doing System Shock 3, and they're just starting work on that. And I'm also really excited about that. For the speedrun, huge shoutouts have to go to Private Cinnamon Bun and Itsubitsu. Like, they did 99% of the work on this. I just picked it up and learned it because it's a fun run, and I've enjoyed it, but they've done pretty much all the testing and research necessary for that. Itsubitsu found door glitch. Like, they're really good. All right. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Fearful Ferret. My mind is blown. Great run. Had $100 from Drucifer during that. He said, I had to donate during System Shock considering my computer's name is Shodan. I want $50 to the cow level and $50 to Runner's Choice. We'll have to find out what Ferret's Runner's Choice is, by the way. And then $100 from Ferret Friend Runs